Today, we're together in Tomar, one of Portugal's most historic cities. First, let's take a look at what's in this video. We'll climb its steep hills and explore Convento de Cristo, the mysterious structure overlooking the city that housed the Knights Templar for centuries. The simplicity of its entrance may surprise you, but don't be fooled. We believe the breathtaking church inside, along with the divine narrative reflected in the decorations on the church's exterior facade, will impress you as much as it impressed us. Beyond being a place of worship, this was also a place where the Knights Templar lived and trained. To better understand life here, we'll also visit the dormitories and dining areas and walk through its gardens. Finally, we'll descend into its cistern, the most vital source of life in this place. Stay with us, watch the video until the end, and enjoy this journey. As we climb together from the city square to the hill where Convento de Cristo stands, let's talk about the brief history of this place. When you look at the sunlit hills of Tomar, one question comes to mind. Why did the Knights Templar choose this exact place? The answer lies not only in a monastery, but in the grand strategy of Europe's most mysterious warrior order. Founded in Jerusalem in 1119, the Knights Templar, officially known as the Poor Fellow Soldiers of Christ and of the Temple of Solomon, were originally created to protect pilgrims. But they quickly became far more than ordinary warriors. They built a vast network of power stretching from Europe to the Holy Land. Fortresses, trade routes, banking systems, and political influence. They became one of the most powerful organizations of the Middle Ages. So why Tomar? In the 12th century, Portugal was fighting to reclaim the Iberian Peninsula from Muslim rule. Thanks to its strategic location near the Tagus River, Tomar was an ideal center for both defense and expansion. In 1160, Galdim Pais, the Grand Master of the Knights Templar in Portugal, established this site not merely as a castle, but as one of the Order's most critical western headquarters. Tomar became, in many ways, the heart of the Templars in Portugal. But their influence extended far beyond Portugal. Paris Temple in France, Temple Church in England, Ponferrada in Spain, Jerusalem in Israel. They operated across hundreds of locations from Europe to the Middle East. Some even argue that they laid the foundations for many modern systems, from maritime trade to finance. Then everything changed. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, driven by debt and shifting power dynamics, turned against the Knights Templar. Thousands were arrested. The order was officially dissolved. But in Portugal, the story took a different turn. Rather than destroying them entirely, King Dinas reorganized them under a new name, the Order of Christ. This is how the expansion of Convento de Cristo in Tomar truly began. This transformation was not merely survival. The Templar legacy extended into the Age of Discovery, reaching the era of Christopher Columbus. The symbol of the Order of Christ was carried on the sails of Portuguese ships as they journeyed toward new worlds. We are approaching the entrance gate of Convento de Cristo, one of the most important centers of this ancient order that has existed for centuries. If you're ready to pass through its gates and explore it together, then come with us. As we step through the gates of Convento de Cristo, simplicity welcomes us. The walls adorned with azulejos are important visual symbols reflecting Portugal's identity. Now let's continue exploring the history of this place. Even today, the Knights Templar remain surrounded by legends, the Holy Grail, hidden treasures, lost documents. From Roslin Chapel to Tomar, many sites connected to them are still being studied. Although various modern organizations claim their name, the original order belongs to history. And yet, as you walk through the stone walls of Tomar, one feeling remains unchanged. This is not only a place of the past, it may still be the center of a mystery not fully solved, because the Knights Templar may be gone, but the traces they left behind are still spoken of around the world. As we continue from the museum entrance, we are greeted by a model of this structure. From here, it is possible to get brief information about the areas to be visited and their history. By heading to the right of this section, we arrive at the Charola, the Templar church. As we move deeper into the heart of Convento de Cristo, at a certain point time seems to slow down. Before you rises the Charola, this mysterious circular temple, a sacred center built to embody the spirit of the Knights Templar. In the 12th century, it was designed as the first and most important part of this vast complex in Tomar, and its shape was no coincidence. The architecture of the Charola was directly inspired by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. Why Jerusalem? Because the origins of the Knights Templar were rooted in the mission of protecting the Holy City. For them, Jerusalem was not just a city. It was the center of their faith, their battles, and their identity. That is why the Charola in Tomar became a symbolic echo of Jerusalem in Western Europe. As the knights prayed here, they felt spiritually connected to the Holy Land. Even the circular form itself carries powerful meaning. In the Middle Ages, this shape represented divine order, eternity, and the perfection of God. For the Templars, it also symbolized the link between their warrior identity and their sacred mission. Through its centralized design, they saw themselves as part of a sacred order gathered around God. When you look inside, your eyes are drawn not only to the architecture, but to a narrative woven through symbols. The frescoes on the walls depict scenes from the Bible, saints, and sacred sacrifice. While golden details symbolize heavenly light, red tones evoke martyrdom and holy war. The figures in the sculptures were seen not merely as religious characters, but as protectors, guides, and representations of divine justice. In particular, the central octagonal structure is striking both in terms of defense symbolism and spiritual geometry. The number 8 represents rebirth in Christianity, meaning the Charola was not only a place of worship, but a space of spiritual transformation. Even when the structure was later expanded with Manueline and Renaissance influences, the essence of the Charola was preserved, because this was the heart of Convento de Cristo, the power of the Knights Templar in Portugal, the continuing legacy of the Order of Christ, and the sacred connection to Jerusalem. All come together here, in a single place. I will leave you alone with the video so you can better observe this unique structure from different perspectives. As we leave, we take one last look at the majestic entrance of the building.